going to learn how to create a basic Android application, and this is the Android Studio. There are different options are given here. So we'll just create a new Android Studio project, and let's go and see what options for selecting activity we have. So you can see basic activity, empty activity, bottom navigation activity. There are multiple options to select the activity, your initial activity. So we'll just go through the basic empty activity and we will click on next, and this is the name of the application. So we will just rename it to navigation activity, sorry, navigation project, and this is the package name of the project, and this is the location, and this is the option to select the language, and below that is the SDK selection. There are multiple options to select the SDK. The highest one is API 30 and by default is API 16. So we'll finish the project creation and just let's wait while the whole project is created. So as you can see, the build is going on. Once this finishes, our project will be created. So let's wait to finish the Gradle build. So as you see, the app has been created. As you can see, there are multiple folders have been created. So the first folder is for manifest file. This is the file that contains all the permissions and the activities. So we have just created one activity, which is main activity. So as you can see, the activity tag, and this activity is the main activity as well as this activity is the launcher activity. So this is category. So we have given the category as launcher because this is the activity which is going to be launched when we run the application. And the other one is Java folder. Inside the Java folder we have got the package name, and that contains main activity.java file. The Java file belongs to the main activity, and these are the test. This is the test folder, and the other folder is resources folder. So resources folders contains drawable, layout, map values. The drawable is, it contains the drawable files, layout contains the layout files, and map contains the icon files, and the values contains colors, strings, and styles. And there is one more folder which is called as Gradle scripts. So it contains all the Gradle components. First one is build.gradle. As you can see, it is the project in the bracket. So it is project level build.gradle file, and this one is the app level build.gradle file. So the app level build.gradle file contains all the dependencies as well as the version code, version name, and minimum SDK version, target SDK version, and all. And the build.gradle, the project level build.gradle file contains the JCenter, Google, and Gradle version. So we will continue with our process. This is the activity main.xml. This is called as a layout file which has been created, and this is the Java file for the code, and this is the view. This is for the view. So as you can see, there are three different options given here. The first one is for code view. These options are basically to view the file, the XML file. So the first one is code. It will only show the code. Second one is code plus graphics view, and the third one only graphics. So we have to add one button here on which we will click and we will navigate to another activity. So as you can see, there is one text view available, hello world, which is created by default. We will delete this. You can just go and click on delete button, or you can just go into the code and delete it. And in the left panel, as you can see, there are multiple widgets. So we will select one widget called as button and we'll add it at the center of the screen. And these are the points which we have to connect. These are called as constraints, because the button has been added inside a constraint layout. As you can see here, this is a constraint layout and the button is added inside that constraint layout. So constraint layout is basically one of the best thing to use while we talk about the layout, because you can add your view anywhere you want. As you can see, I can drag it anywhere I want to. So let's just add this button at the center of the screen. Let's zoom it out. Yeah, and we will change the name of the button. We'll change it as navigate to activity 2. Okay, navigate to activity 2. And the ID of the button is button. We can change it to whatever we want as our convenience. So we'll keep it as it is. And to navigate to another activity, we need to create one more activity. So we will just go to file, new, and activity. So there are multiple options to create an activity. So we'll just create, there are multiple activities available: navigation, drawer activity, master detail flow, basic activity, and we'll just take an empty activity here. So we will name this activity as activity 2, and we will generate layout file for this. So it will be kept as it is, and we don't want this activity to be a launcher activity, so we won't touch it. And this is the package name. Again, this is the Java source language, and we will finish this. So the activity 2 has been created. Let's go to the main activity and let's start the coding process. We have to bind the button with view. So we'll take just button btn and we will define this. We will bind this button with the layout ID. So btn equal to find view by id or dot id dot button. So as you can see, we have binded this Java class button variable with the layout ID. Now we want to set a listener on this button, so we'll just try set on click listener, which is a function to register a listener on a button or a view. So as you can see, we have just added a listener function on this. Now we need to create an intent which will be used to call the another activity. So just define a variable intent, and we will create an intent here. Intent, new intent. We will use an intent class. Main activity dot this comma activity 2 dot class. So this is the intent we have created to call another activity. So we'll just start this intent once we click on the button. So to start the intent, we will call start activity and we'll pass that intent. So as you can see, we have completed the first activity code. We have created one button, we have binded the button with the ID, and we have created one intent. This is called as context. This is called as context. So we can just create one other context here also, and I have just given directly the name the activity contains, and the other one is activity2.class. So it will know it has to call this activity. So let's go to another activity. We have to do some coding here. We'll just do one thing. We'll add one view so that we can identify one text view so that we can identify that this is another activity. Let's zoom it out. Yeah, as you can see, this is also a constraint layout, so we have to define the constraints. We'll just connect it to every edge of the screen. So we have just connected it to every side of the screen. So we have defined the constraint for this. Let's go to the code part. We'll just rename text view with activity 2. So we will be able to identify this activity is being called. Let's go to the graphical view. Yeah, you can see that activity 2 is here. Now we will run our application. To run our application, we have to select the emulator. We'll just select Pixel 2 and we will run the Pixel 2. Will be launching soon. Can see the Gradle build is running here and the build process is going on. It will take some time. Yeah. Okay. As you can see, the project has been installed successfully and it has been installed in the Pixel 2, and as you can see the button navigate to activity 2. So we will just click on this button and we'll navigate to another activity, which is activity 2. So let's click on this. Okay, now we are on activity 2. So guys, this is the basic navigation between two activities. As we have seen, the project structure, navigation to from one activity to another. So we will see further part into the next tutorial. Thank you.